What's up, John? It's your boy Mike. I'm back with another video. It's been a while. I just got back from Retropalooza 9, I believe, which was in Arlington, Texas. Had an awesome weekend. It is a video game convention, retro toys, video games, cosplay, famous people from retro movies. The Billy Coogan was there from Adventures in Babysitting. They had the voice of Tails. They had a lot of awesome voice actors and celebrities there, and YouTubers too. So I had a really good time there. I was selling. I brought a lot of stuff to sell. This time I brought a trailer, and me and my boy Nate from Houston, we rode up together, and we had a trailer load of stuff, and we came back with an empty trailer. This was the best Retropalooza yet. It was crazy busy. It was a great time, and everybody had a blast. The setup was amazing, and it was super packed. So I had a really good time. We drove up on Friday. We met up with Sega Steve, OG Sega Steve on Twitter, and he met us up on 45. We drove all from Houston up to Dallas, and we got there, helped set up tables and chairs and stuff, and the pipe and drape, and then we got our booth going. So it was a really fun time, and Friday was cool. Got everything in there, got set up. I didn't. This is the first time I didn't sell anything on Friday. Usually people are already buying stuff on Friday, but it was pretty wild seeing everybody set up, and there was some cool stuff there. Um, so Saturday morning, I had already scoped out some stuff that I really was looking for. One of the main things I was looking for, always that I'm always looking for, I picked up on Saturday morning. As soon as I sold like a little bit of stuff, I was like, all right, I'm gonna pull the trigger and do it. So I picked up the TurboGrafx 16. I had this when I was a kid. This is like the fourth system that I've had of a TurboGrafx 16. But anytime I see one with the back plate and it had the original power supply, original accessories as far as the controller and the AV RF adapter, original TurboGrafx gear. That's always a must get for me. So, and I didn't have one currently. I didn't have a TurboGrafx, so I was really happy to pick up an OG TurboGrafx. I'm gonna set this down for a minute and talk about some of the games that I picked up. Um, the guy that I got this from, I believe his name was Tristan. He was from Dallas area, and I did get. What did I get from him? I got 3 games from him. I'm looking through here the games that I picked up from Tristan. Um, so I picked up 3 games with the console. Nice little bundle. Of course, Keith Courage in the Alpha Zones. I had this game as a kid. Awesome TurboGrafx game that I remember playing. Another game I had when I was a kid was Alien Crush. This is like a pinball game, but it's super sick, like monsters and I don't know, guts and aliens, and it's an awesome pinball game. Really great graphics on the TurboGrafx. And then a new game that I've never had before is Turrican. I've always seen this on the Sega Genesis, but I never had this before. So really excited to play this on the TurboGrafx 16. This one's like a pretty desirable game. So I also knew our boy Greg from Game Bros, Laporte, Culture Shock. He had some nice TurboGrafx games, and Greg has really good taste too. He loves shooters like I do. So I went and hit up his booth next and got some cool games from Greg. Of course, I picked up Bonk's Adventure. Gotta have this. I totally grew up with that game and love it. This is an underrated shooter that a lot of people don't know about, or it just doesn't go for a lot. This is like a pretty affordable game. It's called Sidearms. It's a really cool shooter. You can shoot like left or right depending on which button you press. I've had that game before, but I don't think I've had it complete. Another awesome game not complete in case is Bonk's Revenge. Classic TurboGrafx. Bonk pretty much became their mascot once the system got rolling. Another great shooter. I had this one as a kid as well. This game looks amazing. When you bring people over and you want to tell them how cool the TurboGrafx is, Blazing Lasers is the game, complete in case. And then this one I've also had before, but I don't think I had it complete in case. Um, Galaga 90. This is another amazing arcade shooter in a port, and so it's really cool. So that was awesome. I was super happy to get that, and then like a little bit of time went by. Greg came up and he's like, "Hey, Mike, hey, how's it going?" And he gave me a gift, which is so awesome. I got the adapter to play PC Engine games on the Turbo Graphics from Greg. These are super rare. They were made in very limited quantities back in the day. I think I forget who it was that made these. I think it's Oak Engineering or something made these. I think it was a mail order only thing. But you put this in your Turbo Graphics and you can play PC Engine games. So I'm excited about that because I'll be able to play some of the exclusives. So that was really awesome TurboGrafx stuff that I picked up. And then something else that I got on let's see what else did I get on Saturday. I think that was about it for Saturday, kind of. Or I think I did pick this up. So I got this from our in Classic Video Games, the Game and Watch Gallery 2 on the Game Boy Color, super minty, complete in box. I love these foil cover artwork on the Game Boy Color games because the console that I have, the Atomic Purple, has the foil as well, and those were the launch consoles, have the foil. So I'm trying to get all the launch games for the Game Boy Color because I have all the launch games for the Game Boy. So that's like a little subset that I'm trying to collect complete in box is that for Game Boy Color. And then there's another game I just couldn't pass up. I saw this really clean copy of Mega Man 1. I had this before, never this clean, and I love Mega Man. So Mega Man 2 is my favorite in the series, but I do love Mega Man. And then this is a good big trade that I did on Saturday. So one of the vendors there, I was set up across from him yesterday. I think I know his brother too. His brother I met at Traders Village a couple years ago in Houston, and this guy sells up in Dallas. I think he has a booth at Traders Village, but he had this amazing. You can already see it. Rob the Robot, complete with both gyros, the controller. It has the battery covers, that's always the. If you're ever looking for these in the wild, this is the hard thing to find. Is that battery cover on the bottom? There's two battery covers, that one, and there's one on the bottom of Rob, and those usually go missing, as well as these claws right here. The claws go missing, and there's two different claws. There's a right claw and a left claw, so it's pretty specific. But yeah, a really nice, complete Rob the Robot. And I was kind of checking it out, and he's like, well, I do trades, and so I was like, ooh, all right, well, like, come on by. What are you looking for? And he said, sorry, I'm gonna put this down real quick. So he said, I'm just looking for, I've had this for a while and hasn't really sold in my shop. It's kind of a higher end item. And he said that he would like to trade just for some commons. So he came over to my booth, got a lot of good stuff, like stuff that's gonna sell. Street Fighter 2 turbos, your Ocarinas of Time, just the solid games that are gonna sell. So he picked that up, and so that was super cool because I got rid of some common stuff that's easy for me to find. I got something that's hard to find, is a complete Rob the Robot. So I was really happy about that. But I had sold all of my copies of Street Fighter 2, and I think I sold that game 3 times this past month. So one of the things that I really did want to pick up is Street Fighter 2 complete in box. So I got a really nice box copy of Street Fighter 2 Turbo complete in box. So I still have a copy to practice. I'm terrible, but I'm trying to get good, like Greg, and Sega Steve. But I'm not good. And the same guy that had that also had this Super Castlevania 4, which is awesome because I have a pretty decent run of Castlevania games 1, 2, and 3 on the NES. Now I have 4 on Super Nintendo, and I have the first one on Game Boy. I do want to get Belmont's Revenge on Game Boy because I had that when I was a kid, but it is very expensive. So we'll have to see about that. So that was, I think that was kind of it for Saturday. Also, the other Super Nintendo games that I did pick up, I might have got these Saturday or Sunday. No, I think I got this on Saturday, was Donkey Kong Country on the NES, complete in box. Nice complete in box copy. One of my favorite games, one of my games I grew up with. So I like having the games I grew up with complete in box. So I picked that up as well, the Donkey Kong Country. And then one last game is NBA Jam. I had this game before. One thing that's weird is like the little hologram stickers. I've seen them like put all over. Like sometimes they're on the front, but this one's I like it because it's like the NBA seal. It's up on the top. But this is one of my favorite, all-time favorite multiplayer sports games on the Super Nintendo is NBA Jam. So those are all the super games I got. And then on Saturday, this guy came up to the booth and he was like, "Hey, do you take trades?" And I'm like, "Sure, yeah. What are you trying to get?" And he's like, "Well, let me show you what I got." And he reached in his backpack and this is what he pulled out right here. Let me grab it. The Turbo Booster for the TurboGrafx 16. Are you kidding me? I've never had this before. I don't even think I've seen it in person before. This allows you to hook up the AV cables to the TurboGrafx, and I was like, okay, well, all right, you got this. You don't have the power supply, so I needed a power supply. I've had the Hyperkin adapter, but I've never had this before, and this thing is sick, and they're really hard to find. Any TurboGrafx thing is hard to find. And I was like, what were you looking to trade for? And he's like, well, I want to get that Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. And I had brought it because mine is pretty decent, like, but I wanted like a really, really nice copy. So I was like, well, if I can sell mine and get an upgrade, but I traded it for the Turbo Booster, so a copy of Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, and now I can do that and have the Turbo Booster on my TurboGrafx, and I can play it on my awesome TVs, and it's going to look amazing. So I was really glad to get that. That was cool. Then I was on a quest to find the mintiest copy of Simon's Quest. It's not like, I mean, 1 and 3 are definitely better games. They're more desirable, but and not it's not too hard to find this game. But I found a really really clean copy, so I had to pick this up of the Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, and it is super complete. It came with the baggie, all the inserts, all the registration cards, and everything. Really nice copy of Simon's Quest. So I was pumped. Now I have 1, 2, 3, and Super Castlevania 4 on the Super Nintendo. Then the one other crazy thing happened on Sunday. Right. Well, this guy came Saturday, and we were trying to work a trade, and we couldn't come to an agreement on it. And then he came back the next day, and I was glad because it was right at the end, and I'd even thought about it all night. I had another Commodore 64 monitor, like one of those behind me. They're my favorite monitors. I always seek them out, and I had two, so I had one, my personal one, and then I had another one for trade. And this guy had a trade. He's like, "Do you take trades?" I was like, "Yeah, what do you got?" He said, "I got a Neo Geo Pocket," and my first question was, "What color is it?" And he goes, "It's a blue camo." And I was like, "Oh, blue camo was the one that I had." So this is the one that I remember. Listen to that. Ooh, yeah. The clicky stick on the Neo Geo Pocket Color. One of my favorite handholds. I am a Game Boy guy. Don't get me wrong, but that stick is amazing, and it's one of the best uh, handheld consoles for fighting games. So he had that and bundled up with some games, and we were able to work a trade for that monitor right at the last minute when I was packing up. And I got some really cool games. I got King of Fighters R2, really good fighting game. This one I never played before. It's called Pocket Pocket Sports Series Pocket Tennis Color. I haven't played this yet, but I'm looking forward to checking that out. And then this game, Match of the Millennium, SNK versus Capcom. This was the first SNK versus Capcom crossover in that series, the legendary series SNK versus Capcom, Match of the Millennium. And it's amazing how good a fighting game can be with only two face buttons. It's only got A and B, just like a regular Game Boy, just like a Game Boy. Well, not even less than a Game Boy Advance because it didn't have L and R, right? So it's just two buttons, but with that stick, you're able to do awesome combos. That's a great fighting game. And then also this game, which I had before, which is a Sonic Pocket Adventure, which is this is the first time that Sonic appeared on a console other than a Sega console. Before they went on Xbox or any other non-Sega systems, they came out on the Neo Geo Pocket, and then also got a Fatal Fury First Contract. Yeah, I think it's called First Contract. This is the Fatal Fury game on the Neo Geo Pocket. Pretty much all the games that I love. The only one that I still would love would be to get Metal Slug Second Mission, I believe it's called. That's the Metal Slug game on the Neo Geo Pocket. And then I was walking out and I saw this at Doug from Vegas's booth. Doug owns Retro City Games, and this is super cool because I never had a Neo Geo game in the box. I've seen these boxes once before, but yeah, this is Pac-Man on the Neo Geo Pocket, and these boxes are really, really awesome looking. They're kind of like have an envelope with the manual, and this has the game and Pac-Man. And this is actually a really great handheld version of Pac-Man. I love Miss Pac-Man is my favorite, but I do love Pac-Man. And you can play the game in different modes in here. You can play it zoomed in mode, kind of like the GBA versions, or you can also do full screen. You have the option. So this is like probably one of the best handheld ways to play Pac-Man is on the Neo Geo Pocket. So that was that. And then one big thing that I got. This is awesome. Let me grab this real quick. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. I got, oh, upside down. Got the SNES Junior, Yoshi's Island, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island Pac-In. I've heard of this one. I've never seen this before. I don't think there's any currently on eBay. It's pretty rare when it does come up. But this was packed in with Yoshi's Island. So I had the Kirby one. I actually sold that one. And I got this one because I love Mario and I love Yoshi's Island. A lot of people don't like it when Baby Mario cries, but that's because they're not good at the game. If you're good at the game like me, you can do a run without Mario crying. I'm just kidding. I can't do that. But I did play this game a ton when I was in college. This was one of the few games that I had on Super Nintendo. And this is super clean. It's got the nice clean parts of the registration card still on there. Really, really clean version of this, and super happy to add this to my collection of Mario related things. So really happy about that. And then I got a couple other things. Let me just move something real quick and I'll show you those. Here I go breaking stuff. All right. So these are really cool. So I got the Super Mario Land Happy Meal boxes. These are unused, not brand new, yeah, new old stock, but I got all four of them. There was four different versions. There was Pipeland, right there, Pipeland. There was Desert Land here. You see Desert Land. I got Island World, and I got Skyland. So really happy to get that. And then another two things I got. This was really awesome. Is Turbo Force Volume 1, Issue 1 of Turbo Force Magazine, the TurboGrafx CD System Game Magazine. This is really awesome. It has, look at that awesome. It's got an ad for the Turbo Express on there. And it's got an ad for the Turbo CD. This was super cool. It was like a TurboGrafx weekend for me. And then I also got this copy. It's I think, I don't know what issue this is, if it's issue 9 or something. The Tetris issue. This one was never reprinted. So I used to be able to order reprints, and for some reason you couldn't reorder the Tetris one. So I saw it and I had to pick it up. But yeah, that's about all I picked up this weekend. I'm pretty sure that's about everything. I got a shirt. Had a really awesome weekend seeing everybody. I was part of a crazy whatnot stream that Retro Rick did. He did 12 giveaways from 12 different booths, and I was one of the booths. I gave away a really minty copy of Super Mario Brothers 3. So that was really fun to be part of his whatnot giveaway and hanging out with everybody. Retro Rick, all the buddies from Houston were all set up together. So it was cool to be there with Greg, AC from Marin Classic, Nate, myself, and yeah, everybody from Houston was right there. It was good to see Dan Kelly from Chicago. Mike from Florida was there. We met Mark from Florida as well. He was next to me. So we had a really, really good time this year. It was fun. I got some amazing stuff. If you guys want to have good games, start selling games. That's how you get good trades and get cool pieces. I did really good this year. Had a total blast and picked up some really awesome stuff. If you guys stopped by the booth, thank you guys so much. Thank you everybody that bought something or traded or just said what's up. It was really good seeing everybody. And I'm sorry I didn't get to see everybody. I was so busy. All the YouTubers were on the farther side from me, so I didn't get over there that much to go see any of the panels or any of the YouTubers. But I had a great time, and just thank you guys. I know I don't upload to YouTube a lot, but I always try to do these Retropalooza videos because I have such a good time there. All right, that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.